Okay, disclosure continues to pick up speed, and if you haven't heard this week, there was another huge development. Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp released a new document, a letter from Larry Maguire, a member of Canadian Parliament, to the Minister of National Defense, Anita Anand. This letter is being called the Five Eyes document. Five Eyes referring to the intelligence alliance between the United States, the UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, US, UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. Yeah, five. The Five Eyes Alliance. And in this letter, he basically confirms David Grusch's claims that the United States and our allies have been operating a clandestine UFO, UAP crash retrieval and back engineering program. And so now we have another government official coming forward, this time a member of the Canadian Parliament, and in a letter, in writing, basically admitting that the largest conspiracy theory ever is not only real, but it's unfolding and unraveling right before our very eyes. What's interesting about this letter is that he goes on to say that it's time to start preparing, and that the Minister of National Defense needs to request briefings on this matter, and that it's kind of an all hands on deck, get ready because something is coming situation. It definitely feels like this whole disclosure moment is being propelled forward by some type of an outside force. It seems that there is a schedule unfolding. I don't know if this is actually a factor or not, but it does seem interesting to me that the next election cycle is right around the corner. And if you were trying to make disclosure happen in a very big, very public way, it certainly would make a lot of sense to make that a national conversation. And what better way to make this into a national conversation than to take advantage of the billions of dollars of advertising money that's going to get spent during a presidential election cycle? So, is that the reason? Possibly. Others have suggested, John Ramirez as one of them who has suggested that there is some type of an outside event that is coming. We've heard various times and dates kicked around. I won't get into dates because I don't think that's a very good use of our time. We all know what happens when you try to pin down a date on a prediction. But John Ramirez has gone on record saying that he expects something to happen in a very, and these are his words, dramatic fashion, something that will be impossible to ignore. So are we talking about the same thing? Is he talking about open contact? Remains to be seen. But I'll go ahead and read the letter to you, and then we'll take a moment and unpack what it has to say. Dear Minister Anand, it has come to my attention through meetings with American officials that the United States Senate Select Committee on Intelligence and Senate Committee on Armed Services have been undertaking in-camera hearings with government and military subject matter experts on the recovery and exploitation of physical material from unidentified aerial phenomena. Paragraph 2, I am concerned that expected upcoming public announcements will be coordinated between AUKUS, Australia, the UK, and the United States, which could damage Canada's credibility with our allies and the Canadian public on the global stage. There is an opportunity to have a prepared communication plan in place by May 2023 to reduce this risk. So here he's basically saying that there's more to come and more information is forthcoming. This is going to continue to snowball. We're going to see more disclosure happen, and eventually this is going to become a public conversation, and he wants basically to make sure that they are prepared for that moment when it happens. He goes on, as Minister of National Defense, you may not be aware, Defense Research and Development Canada, DRDC, has participated in efforts to analyze UAP, which is publicly traceable to circa 1950. So this has been going on since at least the 50s in Canada. So if you think, if it's accurate that the United States came into contact or came into possession of UFO, UAP material in the late 30s, early 40s, And then by 1950 has Canada involved. This program is deep and it goes a long way back. There's a lot going on. This recovered foreign material is studied through the Five Eyes Foreign Material Program, FMP, which in Canada is sponsored by the Canadian Forces Intelligence Command, aligned with several intelligence sharing arrangements and treaties. I am writing to recommend you request a classified briefing containing full, sensitive, and protected program information from your officials on the Government of Canada's historical and ongoing efforts to analyzing recovered UAP material. Canada's Chief Science Advisor has also launched the Sky Canada project, which is investigating how the Government of Canada manages UAP reports. They are in the process of identifying key Canadian stakeholder institutions. It is essential the Chief Science Advisor be given full access to defense programs and be briefed on the collaborative scientific research efforts with our allies. Corbell mentioned on Weaponized that this is like the moment in Independence Day where they're flying over the desert and the president's like, what's going on at Area 51? There's nothing out there. That's all a conspiracy, right? And they're like, yeah, not really. This is actually what we have. He's basically saying in this letter, get ready, get on board. It's time to strap in because this train is leaving the station and we need to get the civilian population up to speed on what's going on because they are going to have questions, rightfully so. Continuing on. It is imperative the Government of Canada have a communications plan to respond to these upcoming public revelations that will stem from these American FMPs. Not only are there national security and aviation safety concerns that need to be addressed, but there will also be a larger debate about why there is a lack of transparency and accountability regarding UAP programs and policy. Yeah, that's a great question. What's up with the lack of transparency? Billions of taxpayer dollars have likely been spent on this program. It's estimated that the cost of secrecy alone is multiple times larger than the cost of the actual program. So not only do we have a program that, according to David Grusch, has killed American citizens, definitely broken the law along the way, and spent billions and billions of dollars, perhaps trillions of dollars on this program, but we have a situation here where we are in a crisis. An ecological catastrophe is unfolding. We're on the brink of thermonuclear war almost every day. We have artificial general intelligence coming online that's at least strong enough to make white-collar people nervous about their jobs. These are amazing times. We're alive at a very unique moment in human history. Strange days indeed. So I think there's going to be a lot of questions. People are going to want to know, do we have a source of energy better than fusion? Is there something in a room somewhere that we can reach out and put our hands on that can solve our energy crisis? If we can solve our energy crisis, we can solve our water crisis. We can solve the pollution crisis. We can do anything if we have unlimited energy. So I think that's going to be the first big conversation. What do we have? What can it do? And more importantly, what can it do for us right now? Continuing on with the letter. We're almost done. Quote, I also believe there must be parliamentary oversight of efforts by government institutions, and responsible ministers should be fully briefed on this program, including releasable to the public content that aligns with allied public disclosures. It is incumbent your department inform you of what collaborative efforts have occurred with our allies and the details of existing agreements and memorandums of understanding that govern the program and may have been coordinated through global affairs. Canada's credibility with our allies and the Canadian public must transcend politics, and I firmly believe we can work together in a bipartisan manner, regardless of the classified details of specific FMPs. The public revelations by these subject matter experts who have testified before Congress present an opportunity for the Government of Canada to take a visible leadership role in confirming the existence of recovered material and balancing our national security obligations. I look forward to your response, and if you seek further information, please do not hesitate to contact me directly. So it's all going to come out. It's just a matter of time. And here we basically have Larry Maguire saying that we need to, or at least they, the Canadian government, needs to be prepared to judo flip this information into a win. Because if it doesn't get done in a controlled, managed way, it's going to be chaos and people are going to be upset. So he's saying we need to get a plan together. We need to figure out how we're going to roll with this, because these witnesses are going to continue to come forward and there's going to be more and more information. So that's where we're at right now. I'll do another more of a deep dive video on this later. But for now, if you like this video, I know it's a little clunky. I'm doing my best. But if you like it, you like the analysis, please consider subscribing. This is something that I would really like to do more of. And let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to get your thoughts. All right. Thanks for watching.